The diplomatic chamber aboard the Valorian flagship gleamed with bioluminescent panels that pulsed in rhythm with the ship's quantum heart. Kevin stood at attention, his dress uniform crisp despite the 3-day journey through the Andromeda Gate. Beside him, Ambassador Jasmine Chen adjusted her translator implant, her dark eyes scanning the assembled alien dignitaries with practiced diplomacy. This was humanity's first formal contact with a Valorian Empire civilization that had mastered faster-than-light travel while humans were still painting on cave walls. The pressure was immense. One wrong move, one cultural misstep, and Earth could find itself isolated in a galaxy that had moved on without them. The massive doors irised open, and Princess Liren entered. Kevin had seen holographic briefings. I had studied Valorian physiology for weeks, but nothing prepared him for her presence. She stood nearly 7 feet tall, her crystalline skin refracting light into rainbow cascades. 4 arms moved with liquid grace, and her eyes, 3 of them, arranged in a triangle on her elongated face, held an intelligence that made Kevin feel like a child. "Greetings, representatives of Earth." Liren's voice resonated through their translators. "We welcome you to the Valorian Collective." Jasmine stepped forward, executing the formal bow they'd practiced. "Your Highness, we are honored by your audience. Earth extends its deepest gratitude for this opportunity." The princess nodded, and the formal proceedings began. Trade agreements, cultural exchanges, technology sharing protocols, or the sterile language of interstellar diplomacy. Kevin remained silent, his role purely ceremonial as Jasmine's military escort. He watched the aliens, noting their body language, their subtle reactions to Jasmine's proposals. An hour passed. The negotiations were going well, better than anyone had dared hope. The Valorians seemed genuinely interested in humanity, curious about their rapid technological advancement, their artistic achievements despite their relative youth as a spacefaring species. Then the temperature control failed. Kevin felt at first a wave of heat that turned the chamber from comfortable to sweltering in seconds. Around them, Valorian attendants scrambled, their crystalline forms dimming with distress. Jasmine loosened her collar, and Kevin, without thinking, shrugged off his formal jacket. The moment his shirt sleeves were exposed, Princess Liren gasped. It wasn't a polite diplomatic sound. It was raw shock, almost horror. Her 3 eyes fixed on Kevin's left forearm, where a jagged scar ran from wrist to elbow, a memento from the Mars colony uprising 5 years prior. Liren's voice trembled, her translator struggling to convey her emotion. "You can't be real." The chamber fell silent. Every Valorian. I turned to Kevin. Jasmine stepped protectively closer, her hand moving toward the concealed plasma pistol at her hip. "Your Highness." Jasmine's voice was carefully neutral. "Is something wrong?" Liren descended from her elevated platform, moving with sudden urgency. Her guards tensed, but she waved them back. She approached Kevin, stopping just feet away, her crystalline fingers trembling as they reached toward his scar. "May I?" she whispered. Kevin glanced at Jasmine, who gave an almost imperceptible nod. He extended his arm. Liren's touch was cool, gentle. She traced the scar with reverence, and when she looked up, there was moisture in all 3 of her eyes. "The mark of survival," she breathed. "The legends, they spoke of a species that bore their wounds openly, that refused to erase the evidence of their struggles." "I don't understand," Kevin said softly. Liren pulled back, composing herself with visible effort. "Every species we've encountered erases their scars. Regeneration technology is standard across the galaxy. To heal is to forget, to move forward unblemished." She gestured to her own pristine form. "We are all perfect, unmarked, sanitized. But humans," Jasmine's eyes widened with understanding. "Humans keep their scars," Liren finished. "In our oldest texts, there are prophecies of a warrior race that would emerge from the outer arms of the galaxy, a species that wore their pain as armor, that learned from suffering rather than erasing it. We thought it was mythology, a parable about the cost of perfection." Kevin looked at his scar, the result of shrapnel from an improvised explosive device during the Mars riots. The medics had offered to remove it completely, to regenerate the tissue flawlessly. He'd refused. His squad mates had similar marks. They were reminders of what they'd survived, of friends lost, of lessons learned in blood and fire. "We have the technology to remove scars," Jasmine explained. "Many people choose to, but many don't. Each scar tells a story. Each one is a chapter in who we've become." Liren turned to address the assembled Valorians, switching to her native language. The translators rendered her words with solemnity. "Witness the truth. My people, the scarred ones are real. After 10,000 cycles of prophecy, they have finally emerged." She looked back at Kevin, and there was something new in her eyes, respect, but also a profound sadness. "We Valorians eliminated pain centuries ago. We perfected ourselves, smoothed away every imperfection. But in doing so, we lost something essential. We forgot how to grow through adversity. Our empire is vast but stagnant. We haven't produced a great artist in a millennium, a revolutionary thinker in longer still." "You want to learn how to suffer again?" Kevin asked, incredulous. "No," Liren smiled, a distinctly human gesture she must have studied. "We want to learn how to remember our suffering. how to carry it forward as wisdom rather than erasing it as weakness. Jasmine and Kevin exchanged glances. They'd come seeking technology, resources, a place in the galactic community. Instead, they'd discovered that humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy might be its scars. "Your Highness," Jasmine said carefully, "humanity would be honored to share our stories, but I should warn you our scars don't just mark individual struggles. They mark our collective failures, our wars, our darkest moments. We carry shame as well as pride." "Even better," Liren replied. "True wisdom requires both." As the negotiations resumed with renewed energy, Kevin caught Jasmine's eye. She was smiling that rare, genuine smile she reserved for moments when humanity surprised even itself. They had come to the stars expecting to be the students. Instead, they'd become the teachers, not through their technology or their weapons, but through their wounds. Kevin touched his scar one more time, feeling the raised tissue, remembering the heat and chaos of that day on Mars. It had hurt like hell. It still did, sometimes, when the weather changed, but he wouldn't trade it for anything. Some lessons were worth the pain of learning, and some scars were worth keeping forever.